everyone. So it's been ages and ages and ages since I made a video, and I felt drawn to get back on and start sharing videos again. So yeah, hi. So much has gone on for me. I'll share a little bit at the start of the video, and I've had so many amazing insights lately that I just want to share. One thing that I just want to even start off with that I feel is so important, especially to people that are new on the new to this twin flame journey or self union journey, is the internet is such an amazing tool. There's so much stuff on there. I mean, I am sure that the internet is actually kind of here to aid us get into union, because it's the way we can all share stuff with one another. I think, gosh, if I hadn't have kind of found certain people or had certain conversations, I never would have, without that sharing of information, I never would have been anywhere near where I am now on this journey. I probably would have still been crying on the floor. So I think it's amazing, but I think there's also the thing with the internet is it's anyone can put anything on the internet. Anyone can just say they're twin flames. I've had connections where both of us have kind of owned potentially that connection and thought about doing videos and stuff. And, there's a lot of this journey to inner union and then outer union. There's so many. Everybody has a different journey, right? I mean, I know on mine, I've 100% had more than one connection I've been sure is my twin flame, and I think I needed to believe that as well, because if I hadn't have felt like that, I wouldn't have gone through with what I needed to learn from those connections, and they were extremely profound growth facilitators for me. And I honestly think if I hadn't have really been guided, given all the signs, the clarification that they were it, I would have just not bothered. So I think, everything has its purpose. And also, I mean, even all these, the fact that anyone can put anything out there is also, that's also part of the journey as well. But it's just trying to have that awareness. And obviously it takes time to actually work out what's what, because you have to evolve, and as your energy rises, you can see through other people's energy a lot more as well, and kind of you start to begin to see more where people are on their journey when you've lifted yours. So at the beginning it's a minefield. I remember when this was back in 2011 when I first kind of woke up and thought that I just didn't know what the hell was going on when I met this particular connection. And I very quickly found information on twin flames, because I just could not explain what I was going through, and everything resonated, and and you get the confirmations and stuff. And I believed anything I read on twin flames. Anyone that put themselves on the internet and was I'm a twin, we're twin flames, and they looked the spiritual part, I believed it, all the kind of, I've got a runner and this kind of stuff, I was oh, they're twin flames running. I never really sat there and thought that's probably not their twin flame, or those people could be any connection. They could be a soulmates or karmics, and they just both think each other's twin flame, because I've had those connections where we've both thought that, and it hasn't been. And yeah, I think it's very easy to just swallow everything twin flame. And when I got onto the journey, there wasn't even that much stuff, and obviously now it's everywhere. I can't believe how much the twin flame community and the information. I remember when I first thought I'd met my twin flame, I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed to say, because I thought it was so weird. And that's how much things have changed. The same with being vegan. So I went vegan almost immediately after I thought I'd met my twin flame. And I remember just like not no one was vegan. Like it was so hard to get anything vegan, and now everywhere's vegan. So I can't believe in the past like 7 years how much has changed in the world. And you can quite easily just say I mean, partly I think it's because I've evolved and I no longer have any fear. I'll just say to anybody, or you know, I'm on the twin flame journey, or I want my twin flame. I honestly don't care at all anymore. I have absolutely no fears at all about saying anything that, you know, I believe in. But I just feel there's just so much out there now. And yeah, so that was something that I really wanted to say is, you know, this is really, everybody has their own journey with this. And not everybody is what they say they are on the internet, for a start. Like, anybody can be a tarot reader, anybody can be in a twin flame union. And remember, like, there's a lot of money to be made. Like, people are so vulnerable, so vulnerable. Like, when you first get on this journey, like, you're so desperate for, like, an answer, or to know what's going on, or to know how you can be with that person. And you just, like, you'll pay anything, do anything, you know. And when that market exists, there's going to be people that want to exploit that, and they might not even be consciously exploiting it, but maybe they have a, you know, a subconscious pattern themselves going on. So, you know, and there can still be gems to be got from those people as well. Like, there's some people that I've watched and haven't even really felt like they have a twin flame connection, but they still, a few videos that I feel really, really helped me. And the main thing is, like, what resonates to you. And of course you grow that skill, like, and you want it straight off the bat, but it's something that does grow within you. And you can't really rush that process as much as you want to. So that will change with time, but I think it's really good to be aware from the beginning that, like, just because people say they're twin flames, or they're a twin flame reader, or they're this, or they're this, or they're this, like, doesn't mean it's true because it's on the internet, you know. And I know we all know that, but I feel like when you're desperate, which is how I feel you are when you start the journey, like, I feel you believe a lot more. And then as you kind of work through, you start to, like, change how you do that. I mean, I think it's really, even people that you really do vibe with and feel like they're twin flames and they can help you, like, I feel there's this massive lesson with not making them like a guru, because you are your own guru. Like, it's your journey. No one else has the same journey as you do, like, as I do. And there's been people that I've found, and, like, I've loved the stuff that they've shared, and it's made me grow so much. But then I've come to the point where I'm like, I'm just going to become these people and take on their path if I continue to only be with them. And there's a time when, however helpful or useful someone's been for me, I'm like, you know, now I've taken stuff from them and I need to apply it to my life, and I need to find my own truths. And don't get me wrong, I'm so grateful for those people on my journey, because without them I wouldn't be where I am now. But there definitely comes to a point with all these people where I start to feel like if I continue to kind of exclusively stay following their path and their journey and what they kind of share and guide, then I make them my guru, and I lose myself being my guru of my own life, you know. Resonance is just so important. And like I said, it's something that grows. And I recently have felt, I started this video again, so I did say this in the other version, but anyway, I have, on my journey, like, I spent a lot of time, in the 3D world. So I feel like I spent a lot of the last year, really last year and a half, like, really going back. It felt like going backwards to a degree, but I was still thinking about, like, spiritual lessons I'd learned, and I was still applying them. But I kind of felt like I lost all my kind of spirituality. I didn't do anything spiritual. I didn't really feel that kind of deep connection or that kind of out of body stuff that I used to have. I felt very, very, very grounded. And in the beginning of my journey, I felt very, very, very ungrounded. Like I was always out of my body. I was having crazy visions all the time, insights like all the time. But I was very depressed, very obsessed, very fearful, and yeah, I wasn't happy. But I was like really, really like felt the connection was strong. But it was mixed in with all my fears and my obsession and all this kind of stuff. And the past year and a half, I feel like I've been taken really away from the spiritual world. And I think it's why I've not been posting many videos. And the past few weeks, I felt like it's come back really strong. And I almost thought maybe it wouldn't. Maybe I just kind of returned back to the world and I was meant to apply my spiritual stuff there. And I also obviously have had a period where I thought I was in union for a bit as well. And they're not, and realizing that I've still got more stuff to heal. And but yeah, I had this really, really strong so I had this weekend where I hope I didn't put this in this video. I'm really sorry if I'm repeating myself. So I had a really strong pressure in my third eye, really intense. And this was kind of only a couple of weeks ago. And since then, it's like my connection has just gone like this. I feel that connection to kind of higher self, God source, is so much stronger. My 5D connection to my connection is through the roof. Like I hear every thought, every feeling. And I've not really had that before. I've had multiple connections where I've felt their thoughts and feelings, but this is like all the time, constantly, 24/7. And this has only been like the last week or two. I feel really close. I'm putting this out there now on video, but yeah, I don't know. The difference is I felt close before, but I felt close because I wanted it so bad, whereas like I felt ready just because I wanted it, right? But now I feel ready because I don't have any fears anymore. I still have stuff come up, but I used to be so afraid of. I've always been honest. I've had like multiple people I thought were my twin flame, not loads, but like more than one. And I was always so, but it's been like the same energy journey, right? But I was always so afraid, and my self-worth was like on the floor, when I'm honest with myself. Like I never felt worthy, and I always felt worthy of those people because I never felt like they were better than me. It was like the connection that I had with them made me feel so unworthy, and it brought so much up. And it's been a journey, but now I feel like all those fears are just gone. Like I guess I'm in my empowered energy, and that's why I now really feel like ready. And obviously I'm not there because it's not here, but I don't know, I kind of feel like it's here. Like that's all I can think is like, it's here, it's here, it's here. Like, it's happening, but then it's not there in the 3D, but I feel it's like, it was so close anyway, and I feel like it's so close. But anyway, that's just my personal journey, but it's weird because a lot of people I know feel kind of similar at the moment. So, we'll see. I do believe that as we shift and we kind of vibrate higher, we bring people with us and people bring me with them, and, we're all chipping in and helping one another. Some of the... Yeah, so I had this, I need to make some notes because I'm going to do that in a bit. I never feel very prepared for these videos. I just hit record and I'm like, I'll think of something. So something that I feel is massive on this journey that I've had a realization of recently is everything that we experience outside of ourselves is stuff that we have inside of ourselves. It cannot be in your external reality if it's not inside of yourself. And I really, really quit. So when I thought everything had happened for me, I was actually experiencing this. I was taking ownership of everything, right? I was like, everything that turns up, I'm just going to work with it within, and I'm going to own it, and I'm going to look at like why this has triggered me, why I'm judging it, and how I actually do it to myself, and that's why it's showing up in my experience. And everything was like going. And then something came up and it really triggered me, right? So started blaming, projecting, like, can't believe did this, and everything evaporated. And I'm now realizing I've got to get myself back to that energy, because I do really believe that's where the magic happens. When anything that we project and we judge in another person is really where we're just basically judging ourselves, or we don't want to face that we're actually doing that to ourselves. I fully believe what is within, so without. And it's really difficult because it's so much easier to like be triggered, to get angry, to blame, than it is to be like, oh, this is a mirror, you know, this is actually how I'm treating myself. It's really difficult to own that sometimes, you know, like really difficult. I'm also seeing more and more and more. So the last year, I think my grounding experience is really important, because I really was on a journey of understanding that we create our reality. So yeah, I've had my own little journey with manifesting, and I still have like mixed feelings on it because of like creating stuff and like ego, but I still fully believe that we are the creators of our reality. And if we want something, we can have it, right? And I do believe there's a journey with that of understanding what our soul wants versus what our ego wants. But that's just a journey in itself too. And there's no wrong and no right. And we are constantly using law of attraction, and we are constantly creating our experience. And the more I've been aware of this, so I recently like had a situation. It's hard for me to talk about these things sometimes, because I don't like to talk about connections that I've had with people that are not like here and open with me kind of talking about it, because I don't mind sharing my journey, but obviously other people, I can't be responsible for talking about them. So it's hard sometimes for me to phrase like things that have happened on my journey without featuring another person. But I have seen a few times where something's happened and I've been really pissed off by it, and then I've looked and I realised that like just a day before it happened or something, I'd said to somebody, oh, I want this to happen because I can't handle this anymore. And then it will break down the next day, and I'm like, you know, and I'm angry about it. But then when I really am honest with myself, I think the biggest thing of this twin flame journey is like being honest with yourself. And it's so hard to say, I created that, when you didn't want it. And you kind of wanted it at the time. But so I think, you know, when you get triggered, I think there's a lot as well to do with like everything that is happening externally is because we're doing it to ourselves internally. So if we're not getting commitment, like I sometimes think like, this person's not like fully all in. And then I look at myself and I'm like, do you know what, nor were you, because you always had a backdoor option of like, ever since I let go of the first person that I thought was really, really adamant that was my twin flame, I realised that if I felt rejected by like my connection, then I'll be like, I need a back door. Not like necessarily another person, but it's like, I need to be open to other people. Like, I need to be open to another connection coming in. Like, I can't just sit around and like, and when I was truly honest with myself, I could see that I wasn't committing. Not only was I not committing to myself, I wasn't committing. It's not even about committing to the person. It's committing to the union, committing to the journey, right? Because when the triggers come up, it gets really tough. And I didn't physically run. I've never physically ran from a connection. I've never physically, if I felt like that's part of my twin flame journey, I've never physically said, I don't want to do this anymore. But I have spoken those words, and I have thought that, and I've said, I can't handle this anymore. I just need a break, or I need to be open to other people in case this doesn't work out, or this is too much for me, or I've lost myself, or you know, like, and the more honest you can be with yourself without kind of just saying, oh, he's not doing this, he's not doing that, she's not doing this, like she, you know, the more you evolve, and it is difficult to be that honest with yourself, you know, to be really open that it's you that's creating all your experiences all the time. And yeah, I was doing it for a bit, everything was going really good. And then I lost myself again. And, you know, it is a constant journey and a constant evolution of like coming back to taking ownership of your creation. And I really think this is one of the biggest growth aspects of this journey, is like ownership of what you're creating. And if you're not, if you don't have what you want, well, I've never ever believed, luckily, in sitting around and waiting for some kind of divine time to happen. Because for me, divine time doesn't exist, right? It's just a construct. Divine timing is you being ready for union, you being in inner union, so it's reflected externally. And I really believe that is about taking ownership of your creation. And when you're really honest with yourself, everything that you're angry with, or you're blaming, or the reasons that you're unhappy, or you're not in your union, you start to understand where you've created that situation. Like, you know, if somebody, like, commitment was one I use, like, somebody making, I remember ages ago, like, I had a really strong connection, and he would look at other women all the time, right? We weren't even in a relationship. I just felt this really strong connection, and like I was very toxic. But I actually felt with that one, I had some guidance where I was told like I could go through this or not, but it would be I would make my journey quicker to go through it. And I'm like one of those people, I just go. And it was really toxic. But it was huge for my evolution and my learning to love myself. But I remember he used to just look at every other woman, and I'd be like, you know, I'd be so angry. Why am I connected to this person that's like this? But then I started to see that I was doing that because my self-esteem at that time was so low that I would look at every other woman and be like, oh my God, what if he likes her more because she's skinnier than me, and she's prettier than me, and she's this than me? And so he was mirroring what I was doing. And then one day I just stopped doing that, and I noticed he stopped doing it. Like, there was this day I remember, it was like 2 years into that connection, or a year and a half, and I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm never going to compare myself to another woman, because I'm my own unique, special person. And I mean, in the physical, this wasn't somebody that was better looking than me in any stretches of the imagination. It was the connection just brought it out of me, you know. And I just said, I'm never doing this to myself again. I'm never ever allowing a person to make me feel insecure, because only I'm responsible for that. And I woke up, and it was one of those things where sometimes things take us a long time, and that was like an instant. And I'm not saying I didn't have residue after that and don't have residue today, because I think truly having self-worth is a really intense journey. But I instantly like jumped up levels, and he instantly stopped looking around the room. Like, the next time we met up, he only looked at me. I even pointed out some really attractive woman in a bar, because I was like, oh, you should like you know, sign this person for your business, etc., etc. And I noticed the complete shift in behavior, and then very quickly after that, that person like just evolved out of my experience. Like, I didn't feel the connection anymore. It dissolved. And that's, you know, the thing. It doesn't matter if you think someone's your twin flame and you have a really strong connection to them. It doesn't really matter if they are or not, because they are taking you closer to your twin flame. Like, every connection I've had that I've thought at the time was my twin flame, or was like potentially, even when they turned out not to be, they took me closer every time. You know, it's all part of the twin flame journey. It's part of inner unification, who you're going to be paired up with when you're in inner union. And you can see your twin flame. You can truly see them because you're in inner union, so you can see that reflection. You know, it's probably best not to be too attached to that. But I think sometimes there's an important reason why we are, because I don't think I'd have overcome stuff that was so difficult for me if I hadn't have truly believed that was my twin flame at the time. So, you know, everybody's journey is set up for a reason for that. So, but yeah, I saw this person, I saw my reality physically change from like an inner change. And that was one of the times when it felt like I really saw it like overnight. But you know, in other experiences they've been a bit slower, so it's not so obvious, but they've still happened. So it's like being really honest with yourself. Like, it's hard sometimes not to just project and blame and to say, why is that bad behavior? I mean, I don't want to use the term bad, but why is that behavior that annoys me so much, like in my experience? And it takes so much courage and guts to own it as yours. But that is the way that I have really seen radical change lately, is to just take ownership and to be really honest, and not just to constantly project and go around and like be triggered and blame everything, you know, and that's coming back to being the creator of your experience, the creator of your reality, taking ownership for that. You are co-creating with God, the universe, like whatever you want to say. We're co-creating, and the more I realize this, the more empowered I become. And it's been a journey, you know. I felt like this last year. I think I even made a video on it, but to actually believe it, I mean, that's another thing about this journey, is you know stuff, and then like what is within is without. I've known for years, you know, but then there's this moment when you're like, oh my God, I really get that now. Like, I really feel that now. So yeah, that's some things that I just wanted to share. So I just wanted to end as well with, so I had this really like profound moment when I just had this straight up connection. And I started asking, I don't know if anyone else gets this, but I can ask questions and I can get like kind of answers. And some of the answers that I got were really, really like not what I was expecting. So I asked about, you know, twin flames, and I was like, you know, is there such a thing as a twin flame? And I kind of got no. And then I said, but can there be a twin flame? And I got yes. And then I basically got that we are creators of our experience. So if we want a twin flame, we can have a twin flame, but we're creating the twin flame because we want it in our experience, right? And then when you ask for something, it has to happen. And yeah, once you've asked for it and you said, I want this, obviously then we have to get to the place where we can receive that. So if you want twin flame union, then the journey begins to inner union. These were just the answers I got, by the way, so I'm not saying them as truth. I really can't be bothered to deal with any more of this. You know, I was really bad. I was like, you know, I've had this truth and this is the truth, and then I just, you know, all these arguments, but that's not what I got. And you know, I'm here on my channel just to share like my insights, and if you don't agree with them, that's totally cool. Like I said, we've all got, and this is kind of what I got answers for, is that we've all got such a unique journey, and we go around like judging people because their journey is different to ours. And I feel like that is a really big thing, that we are co-creators, we are God, and we are creating our experience. And when we get to this like point, I think you realize that everybody is right, because everybody's entitled to the exact journey they want and to get the things that they want, right? So and then I asked if a certain person was my twin flame, and I got no. And then I said, can they be my twin flame? And I got yes. And I was like, oh, this is really confusing. And I asked about other people, and I got no for nearly everybody, but the one person at the very beginning woke me up, and I was like, this is like my twin flame. I got a yes as well. Like, I know that they are, but a yes that they can be. So I was like, well, what is it that makes these people potentially my twin flame, not others? And the answer I got was spiritual connection. And what I got was that there's so many people that we have like the level of spiritual connection with, that we have the ability, that they have the potential to be to to reflect that twin flame energy. And I don't know if that makes sense to other people. I wish I'd have asked more questions. I always wish I'd have asked more questions. It's very rare that I get that such that clear connection. I'm sure it will grow in time. But yeah, I got that there's not many people you can have it with, but there's more than one. And that resonates for me because of my journey. And, you know, what else did I ask? I can't remember now. I should really write stuff down. I did used to write notes down, but I felt really kind of guided today to just get on and speak and kind of get myself back into vlogging mode. So yeah, that's kind of the majority of the insights, but there's just this feeling at the moment. And I don't know if anyone else is getting this, but it's like, it's now, like, it's time. It's now. It's not coming, it's time. And I hate saying that because then you look like an idiot when it's not time. But it's just, I don't have any fears anymore. Like, I don't have this like fear of like, oh, what if this person doesn't contact me? What if this doesn't happen? Like, I feel full, I guess, but I still want it. Like, I actually am thinking about it more, but there's no like fears connected to the thoughts of union. It's just like an exciting, it's happening kind of feeling, and that's all I can describe it as. But I'm still getting stuff come up. I had something massive. I think, unfortunately, for my more recent connection, well, not unfortunately, but I feel like a lot of the triggers go back over my whole journey, and it's almost like I'm putting several people's energy, on that person as a dump. And that's, not, but that's all part of the experience too. It's just healing. And that is another thing that I feel is really important, is you can't just like dump stuff on another person. I went through a stage of doing that because I was all about authenticity and expression and boundaries and stuff. And I'm really moving now into taking ownership, because I'm really starting to experience, believe, and see that everything that I'm experiencing is an inner creation of my own. And once you truly start to believe that, you can actually deal with stuff and not just like blame and project on the other person. It's difficult though. I still have my moments. So yeah, anyway, that's all I wanted to share for today. I definitely feel drawn back to this page. It's really funny, I have this distilled water video on here. I still drink distilled water, by the way. But I don't even know, like, it really was never meant to be any kind of informative video. I just literally put it out just to say, oh, I've got water distiller, to my really small community that I had. And it's had like 26,000 views now or something. And the comments, I get comments every day. Some of them are really strange. But I think that actually kept popping up for me again, and it drew me, and I just remembered about this channel, and I just felt like it was time to get back on. So I'm sorry this video is super long, and I hope everybody's well, and I'd love to hear like how everyone's getting on their journey, and yeah, I'll speak soon.